We've been studying.
Kingdom leaders.
What kind of leaders?
Kingdom leaders.
What kind of leaders?
Kingdom leaders.
How many of you know that word, I told you that first word does what? Oh, y'all don't slow down. It done died on me. Okay, what's the adjective? King. Kingdom. Describing what kind of leader, right? There are religious leaders. But how many of you know that Jesus said the kingdom is at hand? So if the kingdom is at hand, Jesus must be producing some kingdom leaders. And I'm gonna tell you, people try to say there's not a difference. Oh, there's a difference between religious leaders and kingdom leaders. Amen? One thing about the adjective that describes the leader, that's where the source of the power comes from. If it's kingdom leaders, then their power comes from the kingdom. If it's religious leaders, then their power comes from the source of whatever affiliation they're connected to. Amen? I'm just being real with you. In other words, in religion, in man's religion, that these organizations, the Catholic religion, that their power, so the Catholic priest comes from as strong as the Catholic religion. Amen? That's where their power comes from. And that's why when they get in trouble, guess who they go to? They go to the Pope, and guess what? They bail them out. When they went through all that situations with the molestation, the Catholic Church paid millions of dollars to handle that situation. How many of you know that God ain't going to be paying no millions of dollars to handle a situation like that? Amen? Amen? So we talking about kingdom. One thing I want to go over some things before we go, just to bring us up to speed. The first thing about the kingdom leaders, they are called. A kingdom leader is called. I use Moses as an example of a kingdom leader. Moses was called by God. One thing about a kingdom that was interesting, Moses was free before he was called. Amen? Moses went through the wilderness. Moses had, watch this. Y'all heard me say this before. Everything that people are trying to preach that you to get, Moses got. When he left out of Egypt and went into the wilderness, how many know that Moses got a wife? Y'all look at me like I'm crazy. Moses got a wife. Not only did he get a wife, he got children. Not only did he get children, he got a home. Not only did he have a home, he had a business. So that's preaching the gospel. Moses obtained everything he would have, that the gospel, the so-called day gospel would have said, that's what we're looking for. But watch this. One day Moses was walking by a burning bush. Amen? God will use the weirdest things to catch your attention. And the Bible says it caught his attention. Now, I love this part right here. God says, when he saw that he had Moses' attention, God is looking. When he sees that he has your attention, sometimes you're too busy for God to get your attention. But God will shake some things to get your attention. And when he got Moses' attention, he didn't talk to Moses about no house. Moses got there without even serving. He didn't talk to Moses about no wife. He didn't talk to Moses about no business. You know what he talked to Moses about? He said, I hear the cry of my people at the hands of their taskmaster. He says, Moses, when I call my kingdom leaders, I'm calling you because there's a problem in the kingdom. God said, when I call you, I'm calling you because there's a problem in the kingdom. All the rest of that stuff I can add to you. Matter of fact, God said, I can add stuff to you when you don't even want to serve me. Everything was made by God. Am I right or wrong? All things were made by him and without there was nothing made. So there's no house that's being made that didn't come from the material of God. Come on, am I right or wrong? There is no car that, I don't care if you saved or not saved, you still driving in God's car. Because they had to go into the earth and get it. Amen? When we were in the world, we were just too blind and ignorant to realize who's the owner. Oh, y'all, come on. You thought it was yours. And that's why you ain't pick nobody up. And that's why you did some of the things you did in that car. Y'all looking like I'm crazy. Okay. Yeah. You ain't realize God said, what you doing in my car? Your little nasty stuff. Get out of my car. You know what I'm saying? Watch this. All things were made by God and for God. So he called Moses and said, Moses, I hear the cry of my people. So we know a kingdom leader is called, but he is always called with purpose. Amen? And every kingdom leader that was called, there was an issue about God's people. Esther. So we like to preach Esther. Oh, Esther. Esther, look at she got her king. But God, guess what? He said, Esther. Well, Lord, I need you to go before the king and tell the king, Lord, if I'm not beckoning to go before the king, anybody go before the king, if they're not beckoning, gonna die. God says, I ain't asked you all that. I got some people in trouble. Yeah. I got some people in trouble. A kingdom leader cannot be afraid. I need you to go, Esther. Amen? A kingdom leader. But tonight I want to refresh that. A kingdom leader, we went last week when we talked about a kingdom leader must have the Spirit. Amen? A kingdom leader, your intellect does not qualify you to be a kingdom leader. I know we think it do. I know because we go to people and oh man, they can expound. It sounds so intellectually wise, and the devil can sound intellectually wise. He can sound intellectually wise, and in his heart he has no desire to serve God at all. There are many men who can talk about the word. Come on, have you ever been? See, I go street ministry. I go into the highways and hedges. Amen? And I've seen people in the highways and hedges know more word than me. Why they, man, Jesus said, you gotta be born again. Like, yeah, might want to take that joint out your mouth and be born again. What I'm saying, their activity does not reflect what they speak. But they can speak the word. Amen? So you have, Moses said, the Bible says he took Moses and he took the spirit off of, the Bible said God came down and took the spirit off of Moses and put it on the seven. Put it on the elders. And they began to prophesy. Amen? So they took the spirit off of Moses and put it on the elders, and the elders were able to speak with the same heart of Moses. Amen? So you have to have the Spirit. That's why the Bible says, try the Spirit, examine. Make sure wherever you're going, whatever you go, whatever house you're going to, you better try that Spirit. I don't care how well he preach, you better try the Spirit. Y'all hear me say it? Follow me in the Word. If I pull me to the side, Apostle, I don't know what, I'll explain to you where it's at in the Word. Try the Spirit. Amen? So tonight we're going to talk about if you have to have the Spirit, because I want somebody bring me a sheet for me. Bring me a sheet. One of the ushers bring me a sheet. Tonight we want to talk about being led by the Spirit. Because some of us say we have the Spirit, but the question is, do you have it, or are you led by it? Are you led by what you say you have? Let me illustrate what God showed me when I was with my wife and I was with. Hold it, stand right there. Just hold it up. Hold it up. See, some of us, we in church, say hallelujah. Hallelujah. And we in church, and your song come on, or you feel like, oh man, I'm feeling something. There's a vibe in the atmosphere. You understand? Come on, let's talk about it. And you feel like, okay, I feel the Spirit. And you got the Spirit in church. And you praising and worshiping. Right? But then when you walk out of church, step out now. Just. And you walk right here. And you go to the store and just like you're buying something. Just, you go to the store. Come here. Now, when you go to the store, you're like, oh, yeah, oh my God. What's up, girl? How you doing? Yeah? What's your name? Jet. You look like you saved, huh? Yeah, I'm gonna take you to dinner, right? We need to do something. You feel me? You come out the Spirit. You so-called come out the Spirit to entertain your flesh. We come out the Spirit. I'm telling you, This is happening all over the United States. I'm not going to talk about the world. People talking about they have the Spirit, but when they at work, they got the Spirit right in the church. Or when they are at home, oh my God, don't go home, because the Bible said a prophet is without honor in his own home. Because when you go home, you get tried by people who know you. And it's a true opportunity for you to show that you have the, she going to catch on, that you have the Spirit. But as soon as somebody, you at home and your sister tried on your dress, you come out the Spirit and think you have the right to speak any way you want to something that God died for. No, we need to understand this. You in the Spirit? Somebody didn't like your Facebook post. You come out the Spirit and then try to use some spiritual words to justify you trying to throw some shade. Not knowing, how many of y'all know this? That those who are led by the Spirit in the Spirit can pick up what you write on Facebook, the Spirit is operating in. There are times I read Facebook and I picked up what they were writing. I thought that was sweet. They wrote that from a place of bitterness and anger. You know how I know? Because you can discern yourself first. Have you ever wrote something and you was trying to respond and you sat there and read it for a few minutes? Come on now, you didn't start feeling convicted. You felt good while you was writing. In the name of Jesus. Lord. But before you push that, it's like the Lord said. It's like the Lord said, don't you want to read that again? Because you represent me. And God, He's going to tell you real quick, I don't talk like that. I don't respond like that. Yes, they might be wrong, but that's not the way I'm coming at them. And then you push a little deep button. And then sometimes we're trying to be slick, but I'm going to delete a little bit. No, you just delete it all. Turn your computer off and go to sleep. Because you tripping. Don't let your flesh, don't let your passionate flesh get stirred up for you. Not your passion, not the spirit that's passionate, your passionate flesh. That you feel like you gotta let somebody know what time it is. No, God don't let you know what time it is. God begins to correct you in love. For he who has the spirit of meekness, restore. Amen? So we're gonna learn about, thank you. We're gonna thank you, ladies. We're gonna learn about being led by the Spirit, because you need to understand that every kingdom leader must be led by the Spirit. I'm going to tell you why too. I'm going to give you a scripture that you can understand this. Paul said this: follow my example as I follow the example of Christ. Paul said, follow me as I follow Christ. I'm being led. Every kingdom leader knows he ain't the boss. Every kingdom leader knows he is not the CEO. Every kingdom leader knows it is not his church. I know some of y'all like, wait a minute, I heard pastors. How can it be your church if you're an employee? You didn't call, the only way it's your church, you called yourself. And when you call yourself, that's why we're going to find out tonight when you call yourself. I'm not going to tell you anything about scripture, but I need you to understand something. In this kingdom leader teaching, it's going to take off the covers of things. Because see, we think because people say something, you don't study to find out through the Spirit of God, does that line up with scripture? Because my Bible tells me that Christ is the head of the church. So that means for me to lead, I had to cut off my head. That means I had nothing that God wanted. but humility in accepting Jesus Christ that he may lead his church. Amen. A kingdom leader understands that Christ is the leader. How many of you all know when you try to lead something, if there's a CEO and you start trying to act as if you're a CEO, that's called treason. If Christ is alive and you're acting as if you are running things, ooh, I'm going to tell you something. Even in your marriage. And you act like you're running things and you're not being led, you'll turn your wife into a slave for you. Or your husband into a slave for your own fleshly desires. I'm going to show you tonight. Amen? I'm going to show you tonight so you won't like, well, he was talking. That was nice. No. So we know that Paul said, follow me as I follow Christ. Paul says, I'm following someone. I'm being led. Amen. Come on, let's make somebody scream. Because it's good to be led. Especially by someone who can see things you can't see. Amen? Especially by someone who knows things that you don't know. Amen? Let's look at that's Corinthians 11:1, where it says, follow me as I follow Christ. Go to John 5 for me. I want to show you, because some of us, like, you're looking at me like, King of leader, you mean a leader? Every leader is really a follower? As long as Christ is alive, he is. So let's look at the ultimate leader. Let's read John 5:19. I'm going to tell you why these things, why you must understand that you are following. And how many kingdom leaders we have in the house? Wait, hold up. Everybody in this house better raise your hand. God didn't save you to sit you on those sidelines. God don't have no bench warmers. Look at somebody say, get in the game. No, look at me in the face, say, get in the game. Okay, read verse 19.
John chapter 5, verse 19. Then answered Jesus and said unto them, verily, verily, I say unto you, the Son can do nothing of himself.
Stop right there, say it again.
The Son can do nothing of himself.
This is Jesus Christ saying, I'm a follower. This is Jesus, the greatest leader ever, saying, I'm a follower. He said, I can do nothing
of myself.
Isn't it amazing how many women, men, and God were trying to do things in themselves? You're trying to have a happy marriage in yourself. And you living it. I counsel couples all the time. I be like, come on, turn it over to Jesus so he can go out. He can help you how to, no, I got this. No, what you got is somebody you want to please your flesh. But what you're going to find out real quick, that pleasure in your flesh is going to wear out. And that attitude that you've been seeing, you're going to find out. If you don't have no spirit in you, you're going to be finding yourself saying stuff you ain't got no business saying. And doing things you don't have no business doing. America was like, I don't know if I should have came tonight. No, you should have come. It's going to be good. Amen? Go ahead.
But what he seeth the Father do.
What he see who?
The Father.
What he see who?
The Father.
Jesus said, I do nothing. I'm being led by who?
The Father.
Everybody say Albert. Go ahead.
But what he saith the Father do, for what things soever he doeth, these also doeth the Son likewise.
He said, I only do what I see the Father do, because whatever he does, I do likewise. Because I don't want nobody seeing me. I don't know, greater is he that's in me than he is in the world. I done had people see me. Have you ever had people see you? Come on, church. Have you ever had women see you? I promise you, it didn't lead to life. Women, have you ever had people see you? See, you know you before God got hold of you. And when people saw you, I was a nice person. No, they couldn't see your thoughts. And they couldn't see why you did the things you did that was nice. But see, God knows your agenda. He know why you did the things you did. You know, the only reason you cleaned up your room because you wanted something. Okay. So we see Jesus. And John 5:19 talks about that Jesus is a great leader, but revealing himself as a follower. Amen. He is the one that preached the kingdom of God is at hand. Giving us, the Bible tells you and I, he is our example. And you know what I know about Jesus' person? How many of y'all gotta catch that? Jesus said, kingdom leaders can see. We gotta get this. Kingdom leaders can see. Did you catch what he said? I only see. I see what the Father does. So kingdom leaders, because they what? They are king because they have the Spirit, they are able to see in the spiritual realm. See, a kingdom leader, you might look at a bird drinking water. A kingdom leader see revelation. You see a rainbow. A kingdom leader see revelation. You might see him and her walking down there. You see him walking in the street. You see him walking down the aisle, holding hands, smiling. A kingdom leader see rebellion. A kingdom leader, that's why a kingdom leader does not get entangled in the cares of this world. Why? Because it was altered how he sees. Kingdom leaders don't go around preaching from the pulpit what it is to be black. I know y'all like, huh? No, you're not. He's there to represent the kingdom, not dirt. And a kingdom leader understands who he works for, has no respect of person. Though God will move on injustice, but see, I told somebody today, see, in America, when the slave begins to realize that, the slave and the master, the problem with America is this. When the slave begins to realize that the master is broken too, he'll be willing to forgive. See, it's hard for the slave to recognize the master because he perceives the master is still in good condition because of his financial and economic state or power. But he's a sinner also. So even though he's a slave, watch this. If he has Christ, he's freer than the master himself. So why would he envy that position when he understands he's freer? See, we don't even want the truth. And even in church, we fought it. Oh man, but no, I'm free. I'm free. And I thank God for all the black, the white, the black, the white man that prayed and seek God's face and walked in peace. Whoop the devil without even lifting up a gun. Whoop the devil in peace. In a nation most violent time. Oh my God. Whoop the devil up with a movement of violence. And the problem, let me tell you another thing what the problem is. We're too busy trying to see Martin Luther King as a black man instead of seeing him as a prophet. If you see him as a prophet, you would be glorifying God. But because you see him as a black man, you only glorify being black. Okay, I don't want to talk. Well, I don't talk tonight. Amen. Watch this. So here we go. John, because I gotta get to the point. John 12. Let's go to John 12. Let's read the 49th verse. So we know that we know kingdom leaders, what? They are led by the Spirit that leads them calls them to what? See. How many of y'all know in the Old Testament, the prophets were called seers? Oh, I'm going to say, if you ever want to study people how they're supposed to move in the prophetic and really study read Samuel, the 9th chapter. Oh my God. When Saul, read it if you really want to study what it means or what it look like to walk in the prophetic. Yeah? Okay. John 12:49 says what?
John chapter 12, verse 49. For I have not spoken of myself.
He said, I have what?
I have not spoken of myself.
So a kingdom leader understand that why you impressed with me? These ain't my words. Why you impressed with the pastor? Why you impressed with the spirit? That ain't, I promise you, the very words he's speaking, he got to yield to. Anyone who has ever preached, understand what I'm about to say. Have you ever preached or spoke to someone and the Spirit of God unctioned you to give the word, and yet the word you was giving was convicting you while you was preaching? And you was like, and you had to preach it because you heard the Holy Spirit bringing it forth. And then, when God called an altar call, you do it real slick. You're like, you right up here with them too. Amen? The Spirit of God inside of you will convict you too. Matter of fact, convict you first for you are first partaker of the truth. Kingdom leaders understand that they are first partaker. Religious leaders, they just put out. But they never really think. And then they create standards on who can come to them and talk. Because they believe they are hyped by their predict. They believe that they have come to another level of hypeness by their title. Really? Every leader I see Jesus, and turn right along, prophet, every leader I see God call, at one time or another, he chased them and rebuked them. He rebuked Moses. I want to tell you something. He rebuked Esther, David. He even rebuked Peter. He rebuked Peter. Read your Bible. Paul rebuked Peter. That wasn't Paul, that was God that rebuked Peter. Because Peter began to move in a way that caused others. Peter, who is a great follower, began to lead. He stepped out for a moment and began to lead people because he had an issue with the Gentiles. And God had to rebuke him in front of everybody because when Peter, a man such authority, when he moved, how do you know? Kingdom leaders, let me explain something to you. The power that God gonna give you, you have to stay so humble because if you move, you can cause others to shift. That's why you don't want to envy that position because, but in this ministry we raise kingdom leaders because you're disciples. This is not membership in this. We're not raising no members, though you're members of the body. Jesus said, go make disciples of the nations. I believe the word, I'm going to do the word. You all are called kingdom leaders. Amen? Kingdom leaders must be able to see and go ahead and finish reading.
For I have not spoken of myself, but the Father which sent me, he gave me a commandment, what I should say and what I should speak.
So, kingdom leaders, they can see what the Father doing, and kingdom leaders can hear and repeat what the Father's saying. Amen? So watch this. If I see into your life, don't glorify me. Glorify the one who allowed me to see. Because without the Spirit, I can't see into your life. Now, I can be a soothsayer. You know what soothsayers, right? They got demons telling them what time it is. Oh, yeah, they do. They have demons telling them what time it is. Don't demons know what you like? Why? You used to belong to them. I see. You've been struggling with this man. Oh, yes. And you're really hurt. Yes, I am. And And you're going to, but he's going to be your husband. Ah! You, Jesus. He just told you what really hurt. If God is the mender of a broken heart, why would he say, say kingdom leaders. So we understand, everybody say kingdom leaders, they see and they do what their fathers show them, right? Are we understand? Kingdom leaders, they speak, but they speak what their fathers say. Amen? Now, can a kingdom leader be so engulfed in the kingdom that God will allow him to speak something he feels? Something that how he perceives something? Actually, yes, he will. It's in the Bible. But God trusted him because he was so out that even when he spoke, because I speak as a man. But when he spoke as a man, but a man who had wisdom, who had been in fellowship with God. Because there might be some issues that common life may bring towards you that your presence with God will tell you how to handle it. Amen? Say kingdom leaders. I don't hear y'all. Say kingdom leaders. Okay. So I got to go with it. So being led by the Spirit. Let's go to Romans 8. So we know a kingdom leader sees what his father's doing. A kingdom leader says what his father is saying. Well, how do we know that's all? How do we tie that all together? Read Romans 8:14.
Romans chapter 8, verse 14. For as many as are led by the Spirit of God.
For many that are led by what?
The Spirit of God.
The same Spirit that calls you to see what the Father's doing. The same Spirit that causes you to hear what the Father's saying. The Spirit that Spirit is leading you. But watch what it says. Keep reading. What does it say? Go ahead.
For as many as are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God.
Say relationship. Those who are led by the Spirit are his children. That's why they can see their Father and they can hear and speak in behalf of their Father. Their power comes from relationship. And they understand this. Because they are led by the Spirit and the Father is, because they are the children of the Father, they understand faith. The Bible says, without faith it's impossible to please God. Come on, y'all. Without faith, it's impossible to please God. So, because they have the Spirit and they can hear what the Father is saying, my sheep know my voice and another they shall not. So they are being followed. They are great followers by the voice. Amen. But who are they following? They are following the Spirit that's leading them by the Father. Do we understand this? Because they understand when they received the Spirit, it didn't cry out Catholic. The church that God is raising up today, when they receive the Spirit, they will not cry out Baptist. The church today that God is raising up, they will not even cry out non-denomination. What is that? What do you mean non-denomination? There's nothing in the Bible that's going to have you crying out non-denomination. There's nothing in the Bible that's going to have you crying out Jehovah's Witness. Though you must be baptized. Though you must be filled with the Holy Ghost. Though you must be a witness of Jehovah. But the word says that when your spirit bear witness with his spirit, it cries out. Come on, it cries out. And guess what? When Jesus, I preached this on Sunday, when Jesus was dealing with the religious order, he said something to the religious order. I had to play this song, Abba, I belong to you. They play this song, I belong to you. I had everybody say, I belong to you.
I belong to you.
Who do you belong to? Okay, I'm checking that. He said, I belong to you. But watch what Jesus said. He said, Abba, I belong to you. For the Spirit of God bear witness to the Spirit and cries out, Abba, I belong to you, God. For my sheep know my voice and another they shall not follow. God, I'm a great follower. I'm your leader. You have created me to be a leader. But watch this. He said to the religious leaders, this is what he said to the religious leaders. He said, your father, he said, our father, he said, your father is the devil. And you carry out to do his desires. Hear what God said. He tells religious leaders that you don't have the same father. That's why you're not my leader. And the one who leads you, you carry out his desires. Now I need to break this down for you to understand this. How does this look for a moment? Peter, when Jesus, he said, upon this rock shall I build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. Amen? And the Bible says that a little while farther down, Jesus began to tell them the things that he must suffer. Wait a minute. First he told Peter, on this rock shall I build my church. He gave Peter revelation. How many know he was talking to Peter's spirit, not his flesh? Because Peter didn't understand it in his flesh. Peter did not understand what God was telling him in his flesh, what Jesus was telling him. Because later on, a little farther down, when Jesus began to tell him, how do you get to be a kingdom leader? Like some of us in this room. When God began to explain to you what is the process of a son and to how you have to represent your father and how it is to become a kingdom leader, as he got a little farther down, Peter pulled Jesus to the side. He pulled the one to the side who said, I only do what I see my father do. He pulled the one to the side who said, I only say what I hear my father say. He pulled God to the side. And the Bible says he began to rebuke God. Y'all, Peter was lucky like us. Because if he would have tried that in the Old Testament, God would have killed him right on the spot. We say, what you mean? You don't call God to the side and call him no liar. Because what he was saying, he was saying, you're wrong. This is not how that's going to go down. But watch Jesus. The word turned around, didn't speak to Peter, spoke to the father of lies. He spoke to Satan. Now watch what he says to Satan. He says, Satan, you are not mindful of the things of God. In other words, Satan, you're not a leader in the kingdom. Because your mind is not considered. Your mind, because without faith it's impossible to please God. Satan, you have no desire to please God. Now you would think that he would say next, Satan, your desire is to please yourself. That's not what he said. He said, Satan, he said to Satan, you have no desire. He said, you don't want to do the things of God, but you want to do the things of man. Somebody better grab that revelation. He said, Satan, you want to bless men. You want to give men whatever their flesh craves for, whatever they hunger for, whatever they long for, as long as it doesn't bring pleasure to God. Many people are walking around talking about God bless them, and it came from Satan. You got a job. You was on fire for God. Am I right, prophet? It was on fire for God. You get a call. You obey. Job gonna pay you $22 an hour. But they need you to work 7 days a week. And we'll give you 1 day off, maybe Tuesday every other two, but you need your full commitment to this job. You obey. What makes you think that God would give you that job? See, we think everything tangible is a blessing. Because watch this, because we didn't believe that the spiritual blessing we received was a blessing. We didn't believe Christ was a blessing, so we believe everything that somebody gives us tangible is a blessing. Look at what I say. If it takes you from God and being led by the Spirit, then it's not God. Shoot, I was offered over $50,000 to start out with, to start a whole company, and then that was like money just to start. And we was in a situation financially tough up. So in the natural eye, it looked like I should have took it. But he said, you know what? You can come. I'm gonna send you to Michigan. We're going to train you. If I would have took that job, I didn't know enough. I would have to leave church. I would have to leave the Word of God. I would have to be more focused on that. And one thing about it is, he was trying to get me by what was appealing to my flesh. God was drawing me to what was going to build up my spirit. Because he knew I was going to one day have to war a war against my own flesh. I know you have to war against your own desire. Amen? So, he says, for who are led by the Spirit are the sons of God. But the sons of God desire is to please God. They see God, they only do what they see, and guess what? And they hear God, and they speak what God says. Amen? Y'all with me? Y'all, we got to get this, because I'm about to show you. This is going to take you to a battle. Y'all understand this? This is the situation. They say, God, when a generation begins to be a generation that can see in the Spirit, and a generation that can be able to speak the word of God. See, we want to do trickery. We want to be like Moses. When Moses went to Pharaoh and throw a snake on the ground, and then Pharaoh turned around and throw 2 snakes. See, we got a society that loves signs and wonders. Many of them are going to be tricked. They're going to be tricked. They are. They're going to be tricked. They say, ooh, ah. All you got to do is go watch YouTube. Them preachers on there. Come here, demon. And they make a showcase of a demon to entertain everybody there. And everybody there saying, oh my God, look at God. Let me tell you something. And some of y'all say, that can't be a demon. You know why? Because demons casting out demons destroy the kingdom. You don't understand. If I'm a lieutenant and that's a sergeant, I never cast them out. I commanded them to leave. And I fooled you because you couldn't discern my actions in the way I moved. God don't move like that. God ain't gonna sit there and make mockery of you while you possessed. God ain't gonna clown you for some man's power. God ain't gonna clown you for some man's power and doing stuff like this and how you walk. What is the purpose? When God says you can see, you can see. When God said you can walk, you can walk. When God moved, it was evident what he was doing. Come on, church. It was evident. It was no what happened. It was no well, I don't know what's going on. When God called the blind to see, they saw. When God called the lame to walk, they walked. They didn't walk for nobody fell down talking about they didn't believe. When God delivers somebody, they will deliver. Amen. Come on, it's God. Amen. He said, go tell John the Baptist, the blind see the lame walk. He said, go tell him, ain't nobody, I'm not flogging, I do what I do. Amen. But he said, I do that you can understand who I really am. He said, I'm only doing this so you can understand when I really come to offer. Watch this, how to get this. He said, I only did this so you can see what I really came to offer. Why? He said, I'm the resurrection. I really came to offer you eternal life. But that you may believe that I am the Son who came to offer eternal life. Let me show you some power. Amen? Amen? In other words, he didn't show power so it could turn into a show. He didn't show power that it turns into some type of entertainment show. And everybody sitting around, woo, woo. After, guess what? When he showed power, he wanted people to come to repentance. He wanted people to accept the gift. How many of you know somebody can be blind and still go to hell? Somebody can be blind and cause to sin and still go to hell. If he caused you to sin, you never accepted Christ, you're still going to hell. Just because he made you sin don't mean you saved. Oh, he healed. I know people say, they say he healed. And guess what? After they got healed, they went back down the street and did more dirt than they did before they was healed. Look at somebody, you still got to repent. So, following, being led by the Spirit brings you to a place of what? I say sonship. So since the Father will always be the Father, then we will always be following. Y'all with me? But we follow with power. Because Jesus said, you're going to do what I've done and even greater. The same Spirit that raised him from the grave now abides in. So the housewife, when she followed him, she got power in her house. The husband who goes to work, it's just the husband and wife, and he goes to the school board. He has power in there. I don't care the principal in there. I don't care who the head is. He has power to change that whole school. Somebody gonna get this tonight. Your power didn't come from your financial situation or your educational status. It came from your relationship. Amen? All that's good. And God will, like the man of God said, God will add these things to you. But you better believe your power in your job comes from your connection with God. And when you get tried, if they fire you, you're going to find out who you're connecting with. Because watch this. A daughter or a son, when they get fired, oh, Simon over, what's the next one? I don't finish what God sent me to do. I don't compete in the camp. I don't fought a good fight. I don't ran a good race. I don't done what God has told me to do. And when they call my name, you make your name, baby. And when they call my name, they be like, they connect me, not to me, not to my job. They say she was truly a woman of God. They connect you. He was really a man of God. When they speak about you, they speak about when God was president in that job. When they talk about you, they talk about how you move in that job. When they talk about you, they glorify him. When they speak about you, they glorify him. They might say, I don't know if she was a good type, but I remember when I was crying at work and I was going through something. I knew who to find. I knew who to come to. Why? Because she walked that thing out. She walked that thing out. She walked like she was walking with God. She walked like she was hearing from God. Yeah. He talked like, he said, your assignment over. And you was making $40 there. He said, I do assignment for you. You're like, where we going, Lord? Where we going, Lord? Where we going? He said, come here. Where we going, Lord? Excuse me, we have a job for you. What's that job? I need you to deliver pizzas. You got me twisted. You got me twisted. I ain't delivering no pizzas. It's your pride that has stopped God from using you. If there's a soul in delivering pieces of God need to touch, don't be singing songs. Send me, Lord. Send me, I'll go. Send me, I'll go. Pizza. Not there, not there, not there. I'll go. How many of y'all know we do that? Come on, don't play. Y'all know we do that. I hear Holy Spirit. Some of y'all do that when it comes to relationship. God, you know she has to be bright skinned. God, you know he has to be. God, you know he has to be chocolate. So God brings this smooth chocolate. You're like, I'm not really feeling that. He done brought you one of the most powerful women in the kingdom. Who love him with all her heart, soul, mind, and strength. Someone when you go out of town, you ain't got to worry about who in the house. Someone you ain't got to get the Twitter. Someone you ain't got to wonder about the Facebook. But you want what you want. See, some people can't see God. That's why you can't see your mate. Some people can't hear God. That's why you can't hear it from your mate. All you see is what you want, and all you hear is what you like. Amen? Amen? Okay, we good, right? Okay, now I'm going to tell you, listen, I have to take you to why this is important. Why is it important to be led by the Spirit? Why is God talking about follow Christ? Why is God talking about the Spirit of God leading you and empowering you? Because you got to understand, when you are being led by the Spirit, there's some things that you're going to have to confront. And I want to take you to get better understanding. Let's go to 1 Samuel, the 8th chapter. I want to show you something. When God took me, I was like, oh my God. I was like, okay. Start reading from the first verse. In the 1 Samuel, the 8th chapter.
First Samuel chapter 8, verse 1. And it came to pass, when Samuel was old,
Say, when the prophet's old. Go ahead.
that he made his sons judges over Israel.
He made them bad boys judges over Israel. Okay. Go ahead.
Now the names of his firstborn was Joel, and the name of his second, Abiah. And they were judges over Beersheba. And his sons walked not in his ways.
See, sonship connected but not walking in the way of Samuel, the prophet, the mouthpiece. I want y'all to understand this. In the kingdom leadership, your family, your sons and daughters are not grafted in automatically. Is there anybody tired of family churches? Listen to me. Because you're in the family, you think your son's gonna be the next pastor. You think your daughter's gonna be. See, that ain't in the kingdom. Let them prove it to you. Remember, I said I won't say nothing not in the kingdom. You got men and women in that church that God will sit there, and you think because it's your family, you don't turn the church into your family church. What do you mean, your family church? But don't feel bad. Samuel tried to do the same thing. Samuel knew his sons was messed up. Come on, you're a prophet. How you gonna be a prophet and not know the conditions of your sons? Well, because I love saying, but I got this in the word. But Samuel overlooked. Samuel didn't care about that. He just, hey, my sons, I'm gonna place them in a position of authority. But you know your sons are whores. Come on, Eli's sons are filthy, unclean. Come on, your sons are not connected. But you're trying to make God business a family business. But Jesus said, let me bust Stephen, oh, I'm going to tell you something. If you ever want to read the Bible in a couple of minutes, go there. When I left, that boy was bad. I said, that boy was bad. I ain't gonna lie. That boy went boom. The Bible said they were cringed.
Yeah.
They said, we gonna kill this boy.
Right. Come on.
They went to stone him. He the only thing. The Bible says he looked up and Jesus out of his seat. He's like, that's my boy. He's like, yeah, dude, I'll see you in a minute. Come on. I'll see you in a minute. But we crying. Somebody look at us wrong. I ain't never going back to that church no more. And we got churches that have built their church around church hurt. They got the weakest soldiers ever. They know a lot of scripture. They just weak in adversity. Why? Because they don't really, they've got a great lesson. What lesson? The scripture said, think it not strange when trials come to try your faith. In church, there are daycare, elementary, middle school, high school, and college, and after college. What am I saying? Everybody in this room is at different levels. So sometimes, though she might be 25, she might be in daycare. So when she stepped on your foot and didn't say, I'm sorry, if you consider yourself to be in middle school, don't you think you should have been like, Lord, forgive her? And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that there has not been some foul things in the house of God. Amen? But what I'm saying is that I'm tired of Christians, people who act as if they have more spirit than the other person because they can notice their condition, but have no power to change it. All they do is weep, cry, and talk about it. And I call them bouncers. What are bouncers? See, it's a difference when God sends you to different. God will send you to different churches. Yes, He will. Because it's a family. He will send you to different churches. Don't let him say, yes, He will. And He will, because whatever you need, in fact, He will send you. If you train you, He will send you. Because just like in training, you got to go to this class, sometimes you go to that class, and God won't have you rooted in certain classes. God will change that class too. Depending on where you at, He will change your class. Don't be more dedicated to a ministry than you're dedicated to God. Because why? When you try to change it, you're not going to shift. Amen? Because you're like, no, I love it here. You better go to fourth grade and stop playing. 20 years old in third grade. People ask you if you're the teacher. No, come on, stop playing games. Amen? Okay, let me stop playing. Go ahead, I gotta get to my text. Go ahead. I'm going to get my text. I got you on. Okay, come on.
Verse 3. And his sons walked not in his ways, but turned aside at the loop, and took bribes and perverted judgment.
What they did? What they did, prophet? What they did, they turned aside. Remember this, kingdom, when people start turning aside, to leave the kingdom, you got to turn aside. Because the kingdom is straight and narrow. Amen? Keep going.
Then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together and came to Samuel unto Ramah.
Okay, here we go.
And said unto him, Behold, thou art old, and thy sons walk not in thy way. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations.
Somebody scream. What y'all screaming for? This is what he said. I want y'all to get this. Watch what the so-called people of God say. They say, now make us a king to judge us like all the nations. Make us a king to judge us like all the nations. Let me give you a little history, backdrop. Israel, when they took the promised land, God allowed certain kingdoms to stay. That the kingdoms that are observing Israel will know the God of Israel. Y'all hear what I'm saying? God allows certain people to stay around your life through your transformation, that people may know the God of Israel. Yeah, He could have took you out away from that job He could have took you even through your process. But the children of Israel, y'all gotta get this. They're supposed to be the light to all the nations around them. But yet, they want to be like the nations. They want, now remember that they asked for, everybody say king. King means one with authority to rule. They wanted someone else to lead them. Remember I told you, watch this. Listen, this is what's happening. This is what's happening today. Let your spiritual ears be open to hear what the Spirit of God is saying. It's happening today. Watch this. Let me give you an illustration of how it looks a little bit. The church bored. The church is not. So they started looking to the world to do things to incite the church. There are churches that bring in people from the world. I'm not going to, listen. In Megafest, they brought in, what's her name? That Patti LaBelle. They brought in Patti LaBelle not as one to hear the word or to be taught, but they brought her in and touched her as she was anointed as one to teach those who are supposed to be teaching her.
My God. Mercy, Lord.
And this is what Patti LaBelle said. When she began to sing and the people got frustrated, she says, and she spoke, and she declared a word against the church. She said, she started singing songs, her worldly songs. She said, you the one brought me here. Why are you acting like you? So watch this. It ain't nothing new. The children of Israel are now bored. And they are telling Samuel, the mouthpiece of God, who see God, you are old. In other words, the church getting old. Y'all see this movement? Man, the church got bored. We ain't got to go to church no more. It's a move. Y'all better see what is going on. You ain't got to go, you know what? And then they look to the world, and guess what? They take surveys from the world and say, you know what? People have small attention span. So you know what you do? Create church for 45 minutes. That's why you wonder why these churches in Miami are blowing up with 5,000 and 10,000. Why? They curtail their church to the people. I promise you, God is not curtailing his church to no people. Because your flesh don't want to hear the word of God. But watch this. But you sat in a movie of some fake heroes for 3 hours and talking about it didn't feel like it. And we such suckers stand there for 3 hours, spend $18 on popcorn and sodas sitting there. But let church go an hour and you sit in your mind like listen, girl, I don't know why you invited me here. I could be home watching Bachelorette. My baby gonna call me in about 20 minutes. Because I know he's gonna make his booty call tonight, so I need to be in place. Because your flesh don't like the truth. Because your daddy, the devil, don't want you to hear the truth. Because when you start hearing the truth, you might denounce him. You might denounce him. Somebody, a Mazda, parked in Apostle Jean's parking spot. What is it?
Mazda Tribute with the tag ELVIN.
If that's you, please go move that car. You can do it in slow. Nobody don't want to get you. Just move real slowly to go move that car. Whose car is it? A Mazda. Huh? No, not over here.
No, not over there. That's another set.
Somebody in here has a Mazda? Oh, now we don't know what car we drive. What is it? It's great. I'm just joking. Come on, come on. Bring it back. Bring it back. Listen. Let me tell you, let me say some congregation. This side over here, please don't park on this, up here on this side over here. Because I don't, no, stop doing it. There's another, we share this church with Apostle Gene, there's another church. Please do not park there. Just asking. Thank you, I appreciate it. Let's finish this word. What's this? Word. Because I want us to get this. What verse? Verse 3. He says, verse 5. He said, give us a king that judge us like all nations. They begin to want what the nations want. I'm going to tell you something. Remember I told you when you walk in the Spirit, you can see God, or you can God. When you start seeing the world infiltrate or move, the Bible says a little leaven the whole lump. God don't need nothing from the world to get you to come to the kingdom. Amen? Matter of fact, the Bible says that he who loves the world and the things in it, the love of God is not in him. What God did you to come in the kingdom was an act he sent it from him. He came himself. Come on, y'all gotta get this. God came himself in the likeness of flesh to win us to the kingdom. Amen? Amen. He don't need no gimmicks. Okay, watch this. So y'all gotta go to the next verse.
Verse 6. But the thing displeased Samuel when they said, give us a king to judge us. And Samuel prayed unto the Lord.
Samuel was wise enough to know, let me seek to God about what the people are saying. Keep going.
And the Lord said unto Samuel, hearken unto the voice of the people, and all that they say unto thee.
Don't tell me God won't give you what you want. He tells Samuel, listen to the people. He said, listen to them. When we be tripping, I said, listen to the people. Sometimes y'all think, oh, that pastor married him. God said, go ahead and marry him. He want what he want. She want what she want. Okay, give it to him. Now remember this. We're not talking about being perfect when you get married. We're talking about being led by the Spirit. Because when you get led by the Spirit, your life is not going to be perfect. You're not going to be perfect, but you're going to have a perfect God, a perfect love teaching you. Amen? Go ahead.
Hearken unto the voice of the people in all that they say unto thee. For they have not rejected thee, but they have rejected me, that I should not reign over them.
Okay, watch this. Kingdom leaders must understand rejection. Kingdom leaders understand rejection, but they must understand it from a perspective of they're not rejecting you because you're not the head. When we take, as you are kingdom leaders, there are too many people getting offended and getting angry because you are getting rejected. But if you're standing on the word of God, they're not rejecting you. If you're doing what God has told you to do, the rejection is not coming towards you. Because the truth is, in your flesh, you will never speak like that. In your flesh, you will never operate like that. And he's telling Samuel, the people are not rejecting you, Samuel. They are rejecting me as their leader. See, kingdom leaders are led by the Spirit. When the people reject the king, when they reject the pastor, if he's called by God, they're not rejecting, but they're rejecting God. When people come to church and they get, I don't want to hear that pastor. I don't want to hear that man of God. They're not rejecting the man of God. He's not. They're rejecting God. God, I don't want you. And guess what? Aren't you glad God don't get mad at you? Aren't you glad that God ain't like man and be like, you don't want me, I don't want you either. God knows that you have been blinded by the prince of this world. He knows that Satan has blinded you and you don't really know what goodness is. Say, we all been there. You don't know what love really is. You think love is somebody making your flesh feel good. But the very place you think what love is caused you your most hurt. It's caused you your most pain. It's made you see yourself so far from how you really are. Some women and men, you see yourself with low self-esteem. You see yourself so broken, you don't even realize how beautiful you really are. God says you are beautifully made. You can't even see it because you let some dude or somebody in your life cause you to see yourself through their bad decisions. And that's why when God brings you into the kingdom, he don't give you no husband, wife. He has to heal how you see things. He has to deliver the brokenness, because if you don't deliver the brokenness, you're going to pour all that brokenness on somebody. And then let me tell you something, and you really want somebody that God is leading. Why? Because if God ain't leading them, they're not going to be able to handle your brokenness. You know what I learned about most married people? They think they don't have somebody broken. That's my baby. Yeah, she's your baby, and she is cute. And that's my man. Yes, that's your man, and he is handsome. But when a storm comes, and your baby's coming out, that's still your baby. But you don't sit in church occupied by what your flesh wants and have not eaten the word or spirit of God. And you're going to respond in your flesh, and now you're going to continue to hurt what you was called to fix. I'm not just talking about marriage. I'm talking about friendships. I'm talking about people you interact with. That you call your friend, you call your ace boom boom, you call yourself being down with. But as soon as adversity comes, and she look at you a certain way, or talk to you a certain way, it's interesting how you begin to trip. Well, like I told my spiritual daughters and sons, is that the test is not theirs. And that's what he just said, kingdom leaders, the test not yours. The test, when they act funny, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity when they act funny. Oh, you want to try the word? You want to try the word? You want to see if you want to try the God operators? You want to see if God living here? See, we like them signs and wonders. You know why? Because when we do signs and wonders, that's going to do it, right? Well, watch this. Well, when you get somebody you got to talk to, and they done cursed you out. Ooh, now, let me see your sign and wonder now. Let me see if you can hold your tongue. Let me see if you can pray for them. Let me see if you can go get them a cup of water. Let me see the glory of God now. I know, I'm telling you, that's why when God starts talking to you, God says, I'm about to promote you. You be like, see, we so used to fake religion, we be like, they're about to promote you. You know why they be showing up and down? Because they think they're going to get something. But those who walk in the spirit, when God says I'm about to rise you up, I got you. I see you. I know what time it is. I know what time it is. So when he said, to reign with me is to, then why you tripping? He said, rejoice when they persecute you for my, then why you tripping? I didn't really expect that. Excuse me, wrong team. Because I'm telling y'all hear stuff like this. I see it. You will never have to go through anything. You lying prophet. I'm saying, how you going to tell me as long as my life is full of trouble? Guess what? What you can tell me is that every storm after this, because God has equipped you, every situation after this, you're going to triumph over. You can do all things through Christ. But I tell you, there won't be no more interesting because the scripture says it's going to get more wicked. So if you're going to speak what God speaks, and you're going to see what God say, guess what? You're going to be persecuted. They're going to talk about you. Yeah? You're like, oh, you're so cute, girl. I like you, so nice. Sweet. And then you're like, you're so sweet, girl. You know, look at you. You got a pretty smile too, girl. Yeah, you're a good worker. She made me sick, girl. She unspiritual herself, you know what I'm saying? And then she thinks I put a lot of grease in her hair, so it's all good. I'll never cry back in your listen. Listen, watch this. No, seriously, watch this. We do that, right? The very ones that are beating in your face, God will use to try you. Stop getting mad at them. They're not rejecting you. They're not rejecting you. They're rejecting the God in you. Guess what? The God in you, he was despised and he rejected, but he opened out his mouth. The God they're rejecting, guess what? He's not going to retaliate that same way. And I'm going to tell you something. Let me be real with y'all. Spiritual leaders can get wounded. Kingdom leaders get wounded. Because as a kingdom leader, you got to be trained. Y'all with me? Kingdom leaders, yes, you can. You really can. And baby girl, you did it. I was just... Okay. Kingdom leaders get wounded. What am I saying? Because kingdom leaders love for real. And anybody that's willing to love for real won't get hurt. Anybody that's willing to sacrifice for real, you're gonna get hurt. So I can't tell you that. I can't tell you that gonna be no pain, Pastor. I can't tell you, baby. I can't tell you that we ain't gonna go through nothing. I can't tell you that oh my God, I can't tell you that people are not gonna slam you and talk about you. But I can tell you one thing. I can tell you, man, God, I can't tell you that they won't talk about that your friends won't turn and leave you alone. But I can tell you one thing. If God be for you, if God be for you, who can be against you? I can tell you this. All it is an opportunity for you to show them what God looks like. You're a kingdom leader. Show them the one you're following. Show them the one you're following. Show them. Jesus will show you how to walk it out. He'll show you how to walk out being despised and rejected. He'll show you how to walk out being hated. He'll show you how to walk out being betrayed. He'll show you how to walk out being rejected. Oh, he done been through it all. He said he done been through everything. So guess what? When you feel like you've been hit, when you feel like you've been knocked down, when you feel like somebody then run to the one that you're following and say, be my strength. Be my strength. He said, come boldly. Somebody say boldly. He said, come boldly before the throne room of grace in your time of need. Come boldly. Why? Because he knows as kingdom leaders, you're going to have to seek strength from him to walk how he walks. Don't get me wrong. I wish I could tell you that there's not going to be some tears. There's going to be some tears. I wish I could tell you that there's not going to be some times you're going to feel like everything's being shaken. But I want to tell you that he said he'll never leave you or forsake you, not even in the midst of the storm. I want to tell you that nothing can separate you from the love of God or pluck you out of his hand. I promise you, I can tell you this according to the word of God. If they take your house, if they take your wife, if they take your husband, if they take your life, they cannot take eternity. Come on, church. Somebody ought to pray because you know what? You was once thrown away to hell, but now you have eternal life in Christ Jesus. You got the gift from above. He said, I came for the lost, and they may have life and life more abundantly. He said, I came to lead you down a pathway of righteousness for my name's sake. I got something more, I got something better for you than just houses and cars. I'll add that to you. But what I have for you, don't you exchange it for anything. What do you have, Lord? I have eternal life. I have. God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him shall not perish. Look at someone say, I'm not perishing. Look at your sister and brother on his side, say, you won't perish. So you have eternal life. Say, I'm going to enjoy you while we're here, and I'll see you on the other side. I heard some of y'all, well, not right now. Better stop playing. Okay, keep reading. You're almost finished. Go ahead, let's tie it up. Go ahead. You're almost finished. Stay with me a few minutes. Go ahead.
Verse 8. According to all the works which they have done since the day that I brought them out of Egypt, even unto this day, wherewith they have forsaken me and have served other gods, so do they also unto thee.
They forgot who was the one that delivered them. I'm going to tell you something. I'm saying that too. We can forget the one who brought you out. It wasn't no man that brought you out. It was the God that brought him out. That he bothered. He says, listen to what he's saying. He said, they forgot about Egypt. Could you imagine the pain? I'm so glad you got. Come on, how much hurt that is? You bring them out and then them cast them out. Think of what they saying. They saying, we don't want you, God. Y'all don't see what's going on television? Y'all see what's going on in America? That's what America's saying. We don't want you, God. Let me tell you something. They can build churches and put homosexual pastors in those churches if they want to. God ain't present there.
Come on, man.
What they're saying is, God, we don't want you. And even though churches is operating, it ain't just homosexual. Even though it's operating, you got men and women in church acting like they're husband and wife. Come on, stop playing games. God is a holy God. He's a holy God. Don't play house when he can build families. God don't play house, he build families. He's like, when you read that thing, I'm like, my God, they rejecting God. And they don't see things you can. We'll say, man, how they rejected God? They saw the ocean split open. They saw God destroy all Egypt. How could they reject? They saw plagues. They saw God, like, how could they do it? God, and then, listen, this generation is the generation that's doing it then. It's the generation. It was the Joshua generation. It was the generation that went in and fought. But after a while, that generation began to go away, and that's why you got to raise your kids knowing who God is. Don't raise your kids religious. Don't raise them just going to church. Raise them knowing who Christ is. Many kids were raised just going to church and didn't even know God and who God was for the whole church. Sit your kids down and tell them the gift that God has given them eternal life. Tell them the price that was paid for their soul. If they can learn Barney, they can learn Jesus. Amen. I love you. Love Jesus. He ain't perfect. No, he bled and raised. Amen. Go ahead. Y'all, we got finished. Go ahead.
Verse 9. Now therefore, hearken unto their voice. Howbeit, yet protest solemnly unto them, and show them the manner of the king that shall reign over them.
Now I want you to get this. Look how good God is. Give them what they want. But tell them what's going to happen. What is God saying to us? And we need to pray. God, please don't give America what they want. Y'all think I'm joking. God, please don't. America wants independence from God. Come on. We in the minute, y'all know we crazy, right? Y'all know we crazy. Listen. They right now protesting in Washington about killing babies. There are women and men in Washington right now protesting. Do you know how barbaric that is? Protesting for the right to murder a baby? Do you know how evil that is? And not what's it? They think they're right. And I promise you this. There are many there, if you ask them, they'll say they're Christians. There are many there, if you ask them, they will tell you that they are Christians. And I will say, you are a liar. No, I'm not going to hesitate. No, maybe she don't. No, you are a liar. How you going to advocate something contrary to the God you say you stand for? A house divided can't stand. Amen. See, baby know that. You know? Speaking in tongues. Go ahead. Finish it, go ahead.
Verse 10. And Samuel told all the words of the Lord unto the people that asked of him a king. And he said,
This is what he said.
This will be the manner of the king that shall reign over you. He will take your sons and appoint them for himself, for his chariots and to his so-called horsemen, and some shall run before his chariots.
You're going to send your sons to wars. Oh, foolishness. Go ahead.
And he will appoint him captains over thousands, and captains over 50s.
Watch what he's going to get ready to do. He's getting ready to create a system that what says who's higher than who. He's going to create a system of who's better than who. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have, if you got money, you got your dog is rich, your dog has no ride. The BMW is, they took that car and made it more because they made it more money. If you could afford it, they made it for somebody. They create a system that who's better. Go ahead.
And he will set them to ear his ground and to reap his harvest.
They're going to, listen, they are going to start serving man. They're shifting from serving God, and then now they're getting ready to, come on. Do we have a church that now wants to serve man instead of serve God? Do we want to serve the one who thinks he's Lord, or serve the one he's following? Go ahead.
And to make his instruments of war, and his instruments of chariots.
They're going to make you make those things that are going to blow bodies apart and kill people. Go ahead. Going to turn it into an enterprise. Guns. And then we want, what? Man made those. Killing our children, killing people. All. Go ahead.
And he will take your daughters to become confectionaries, and to be cooks, and to be bakers.
Or to be strippers. Or to be shown to thoughts. Men gonna do that. Go ahead.
And he will take your fields, and your vineyards, and your olive yards.
Everybody thought it was good. How many of y'all thought it was good to live in a community that's gated? A gated community. Until you found out, they tell you everything you do, you don't even own your own property. You don't own your property. It's the truth. You don't own your own property. Even when you die, you don't own it all. Taxes. This is what man gonna do. Watch, keep going. This is what man. Now, watch it. God was their king. He didn't operate like this. When God was their king, he had all things coming. He didn't operate. When God had water, everybody got water. When they brought manna, guess what? He didn't say manna just for the pastors. He didn't say manna just for the deacons. When he rained down manna, everybody got manna. Guess what? When their clothes didn't get old, it wasn't just the ones who had position and title. Nobody closed it. When God was their king, everybody got blessed. Now when man becomes king, only those get blessed who get close to him. Go ahead.
He will take even the best of them and give them to his servants.
Oh my God. See, watch this. He's going to take the best of yours and make them become slaves to his. So that means you're always in bondage to him. Amen? You're going to take, go ahead.
Verse 15. And he will take the tenth of your seed.
He's going to take a tenth of your seed. There goes taxes. Y'all think I'm joking? There goes taxes. He's going to take a tenth of your seed. And guess what? Y'all want to see how crooked it is? The more money you make, the less taxes you pay. Because you get all the loopholes they made. You get through all the loopholes they made, so you'll be like, oh, okay. But then and anybody ask yourself this question? I'm gonna tell you, we gotta wake up. Everybody say, wake up. Wake up. Do you all know, have you asked yourself this question? Who do you think paying the bill for the last 3 years of them going after Donald Trump? Anybody ever thought about that? Every time they file a paper, every time they go to court, America's so asleep. I promise you, it's millions of dollars that the Democrats and Republicans, that they have paid, that people are going hungry, whatever, to try to control Washington Do you know every time when they have those court orders, they pay money. Them lawyers getting fat, making hundreds of, but nobody investigated. Nobody wondered over the last year, how much money have you all paid in the last 3 years trying to denounce this president? I bet you it'll put a dent in the budget. I mean, I promise you, I guarantee you it's over $50 million. Those officials are not doing it on the House. The taxpayers are paying for them to war against each other while we go home, while we have no insurance. I mean, God brought this one. He said, did you ever thought about how much the money that they're wasting trying to sit somebody down that God established? Someone said, yeah, God established him. No power is established without God. God established him for his purpose. So don't find yourself fighting against something God established. Embrace it and find out what God did. Amen? And you got preachers, they so gonna sit there behind the pulpit. God called them brute beast. And have the audacity to speak against a president? Boy, you foolish. The Bible tells you not to do that. You're wicked. Somebody, if you ever see a man like that, please begin to pray for him. Because it's in the scriptures not to do that. David knew not to speak against Saul. But see, when you're so black that you ain't God no more, you can't see or hear from God no more, you think you can speak your opinion about anybody you want to. Okay, somebody need to hear that. Finish it up.
He will take 1/10 of your seed and of your vineyards, and he will give them to his officers and to his servants.
In other words, they're gonna be able to eat feed off of your money. Go ahead.
And he will take your men servants and your maid servants and your goodliest young men and your asses, and he will put them to his work.
And they're gonna work for him. Go ahead. You don't want to work for God? Work for man. Go ahead.
He will take 1/10 of your sheep, and you shall be his servants.
You're going to be his what?
His servants.
Now watch this. Y'all got to get it. We talking about kingdom leaders, right? Kingdom leaders are led by who? The Spirit of God. God, right? But he said, because you didn't want God, now you are led by man. Everything he is saying, man is leading that. Man is leading the government that we have today. How do we know that? Because they say they want a separation between government and God. So the government today is being led by men. Do you know a man that's not being led by God is wicked? You know that, right? And God says in the Bible, let the blind lead the blind into a what? Ditch. America is in so much debt. How you gonna be free? How are we gonna be free and we in debt? We owe we owe every nation. But we call ourselves the most powerful nation. How you gonna be powerful if you owe everybody? Powerful is to be free. Amen. Go ahead.
And ye shall cry out in that day because of your king, which you shall have chosen.
How many of us can say you've been crying out because of men? All of us in this room. Don't cry out because of the condition of men who did not want to serve God. Go ahead.
You will cry out because of the king which you have chosen.
The king who chose?
You chose.
How many women cried out because of the man you chose? How many men cried out because of the woman you chose? Ah! Crying out. Cried out. I know I cried. You might have cried out when you was what? In child support court. Crying out. Amen? Cried out when you were on Jerry Springer. You are not the cried out. Cried out because he used you. Cried out. Y'all think I'm joking? Because of that scripture right there. You cried out because you got what you wanted. Go ahead.
And the Lord will not hear you on that day.
America, what he just said?
The Lord will not hear you in that day.
Some people God ain't hearing no more. He's not hearing you no more. Why? Because he told you over and over, stop. Some of you say, that's not true. Read your Bible. Romans 1 something great. He said he will turn you over to a reprobated mind. What's a reprobated? A mind that's no longer conscious to God. God ain't hearing you. You see me walking around the street looking half crazy? Let me ask you a question. You think the Israelites are in their right mind? I promise you they're not. Anybody go around thinking that their whole God is about the color of skin? There's something wrong with the way they think. Because their God is, think about this, if your God's power is in the color of their skin, then your God's power is in dirt. It's dirt. Black dirt, white dirt, red dirt, yellow dirt. Just dirt. Look at your beautiful, look at people next to you. Say, you're so beautiful, but you're dirt. You some beautiful dirt, baby. People look at y'all like, what? The Bible said from the dust you came, from the dust you came. You might be beautiful dust. Okay, let me keep going, let me finish. Go ahead. Finish it up.
Verse 19. Nevertheless,
so I say, nevertheless,
the people refused to obey the voice of Samuel. And they said, nay, but we will have a king over us.
A nation that says, we're going to have what we want. Don't that sound like America? Oh, we're going to have what we want. They bombed 9/11. We don't care. We're going to still do it the way we want to do it. We're going to have what we want. One nation under God. We're one nation under God. We're one nation under God's now. And we are divided. And we're going to do, and that's the right way to do it. We're going to marry who we want to marry. We're going to sleep with who we want to sleep with. Isn't that what America telling God? We're going to lie when we want to lie. We're going to cheat. Matter of fact, we're going to make it normal. We're going to make it in our movies, our television. You can't watch TV now without seeing perversion, violence, murder, perversion, sexual perversion, men and men on men, women on women, men and women, sexual shows. People, some of the highest bachelor. That's got to be ladies. That's got to be, please don't watch that show. That show is so degrading to women. One woman letting 25 wolves chase her, punch on her, and kiss all over, and at the end they have the audacity to say, I love you. That's blasphemy. That's foolishness. That ain't no love in that. Ain't no love in that. Ain't nothing. Okay, y'all don't grab. Go ahead.
Nay, but we will have a king over us.
We're going to have somebody, we're going to have a man over us. Or I'm going to, some of y'all sitting in church, I'm going to have me a man. Oh, I don't care what apostle say. I don't care what prophet Bible say. I'm going to have me a man. Mm-hmm. Don't worry about it. I'm going to come to church, I'm going to sing for you. I'm going to get me a man. Okay. Well, I'm gonna make that money. I don't care what I gotta do, I'm gonna make that money. Don't let God turn you over to what you want. Go ahead.
We will have a king over us, that we also may be like all of the other nations.
When did the church stop wanting to be unique? When did we stop wanting to be different? Because you got persecuted? So what, you a virgin? So what, you not having sex, young men? So what, they want to call you gay? You different. You're a royal priesthood, you're a holy nation, nobody killed you. You were not one. You're following the one you're not supposed to be in. You're in this world, but you're no longer of this world. You are light to the world, not a part of the darkness. Y'all don't give y'all anybody heart. They like, we don't want you to be different, God. We want to be like everybody else. Isn't that what the church said? We want money, we want notoriety, we want cars, we want. It seems like the church want to be just like, we want concerts, we want to be just like the world. We don't want you, God. We want to be just like Nicki Minaj. We want to be on the award show too, God. We want people to call our name too, God. It's not enough the souls get saved, God. We want our names in lights too, God. We want to drive the Bentleys and the Mercedes too, God. So what, you gave us eternal life? That ain't nothing, God. Come on. We don't want you. We want to be like the rest of the nations. I don't want to be different. It's lonely being different. All my friends going to the club getting turned up. But I'm so glad you're different because you ain't getting pregnant like your friends. You're not getting cheated on and lied on like your friends. And that's not the reason. Another reason they need you to be different so when they get broken, they can come to somebody who can lead them to love. If you're doing what I'm doing, how are you going to minister to me? The Bible said, let the blind lead the blind into the ditch. Two hurt people can't heal nobody. Somebody got to be a little, I can't lift you up if I'm crippled too. Remember that? If I can't, he lift this right hand, lift the man crippled. If I'm crippled, how are we going to lift each other up? We two crippled people. Some of us, I feel the Holy Spirit says, some of us need to stop being crutches for other people. Get out of God's way. It's God bringing them to the end of himself. And you ain't no Superman. Finish it up.
That we also may be like all of the nations, and that our King may judge us, and go out before us, and fight our battles.
They want a man to go out and fight their battles. Somebody who could die. Go ahead. They want a man who can die to go fight their battles. Go ahead.
And Samuel heard all the words of the people, and he rehearsed them in his ears of the Lord.
He said, I'm going to tell. He said, I'm going to tell God everything y'all say. Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto Samuel, hearken unto their voice, and make them a king.
He said, give them what they want. Listen, if they persecute me, they will persecute you as well. If they keep my word, they will keep yours as well. Remember how I told you that servants are not greater than their master. Kingdom leaders understand that rejection and persecution is a part of following their Lord. To speak what he said, to do what he does, to love like he loves, is a part of leadership. Give God some praise. Give God some praise. It's a part of leadership. What God released tonight is happening up on the land today. People are choosing to be led by men instead of God. It's happening in the house of God. People are choosing to be led by, they are more impressed with men than they are impressed with God. But I say unto you, follow me as I follow Christ. Amen? And if you see me slipping, pray for me, but still follow Christ. Amen? If there's anybody